All right, Space Gang, welcome to the beginning of a new season, season 8. Clap it up for that. On today's episode, we are going to have a throuple, and they are going to be talking about the poly lifestyle, how they deal with it, some of the pitfalls that they had, some of the awkwardness that they had at the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
it, and we're just gonna learn about new people as we always do on this show. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Welcome to the beginning of season 8. All right, yo, Space Gang, welcome to a brand new episode of the BK Space Show, where society meets pop culture. I am your host, the BK Spades, and I am here with my very lovely co-host.
Novacaine, baby.
All right, do us a quick favor and make sure that you check out all of our social medias and like and subscribe there and share and press the buttons on it and all that good stuff. Nova, tell them what else they got.
Head on over to Apple Podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and a written review. Let us lead over. Head on over to Spotify. Leave us another 5-star rating. And like BK said, subscribe. Like,
Yeah,
share.
I'm gonna say it again. Subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's where you're gonna get all of our videos right now, and Spotify as well. Anyway, like I told you on today's episode, we're going to be talking about polyamory. We got so many different terminologies and things, just so you can understand what the lifestyle is. We got great guests today. They were open, they were honest, and they gave us a roadmap to how this lifestyle can evolve and some of the awkward moments that they had. But anyway, let's get to this episode. You ready to bring the guest in?
Come on over, y'all.
All right, let's get to this interview, y'all.
We're trauma into this.
I didn't mean that type of trauma. All right, okay, Space Gang. On today's show, we got some very special guests here. We got our friend Dawu, our friend Andrea, and our friend Risha, and they are going to be talking to us about their relationship because we all want to learn and understand what the poly life is like. And they were gracious enough to come on our show and give us that input and into that world. So
Yes.
but let me, so everybody know who we are, who you are. Dawu, raise your hand.
Not Dawu, raise your hand. Let him introduce himself.
Fine. Dawu, introduce yourself, sir.
Well, my name is Dawu Smith. From Atlanta. Been married for 14 years with my wife, Andrea. And my new relationship with Risha going on 8 months.
Whoa, you guys been married for 14 years?
It's a long day on time.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that, first and foremost.
Congratulations.
Right. We actually been together for 20 years.
Oh man, you guys sound like me and my wife.
Half of my life.
That's big though. Like
Mhm.
that is beautiful. Black love is beautiful, man.
Black love
Since
is
LeBron
baby.
been released.
All right. So, and Andrea, you mind telling us a little bit about you?
I'm Andrea. I'm Dawu's wife. Again, we've
I
been
said
married
Andrea.
14 years, together 20. I'm originally from South Carolina, but I've been in Georgia most of my life. I'm a military brat. So
Okay.
we have 2 kids together, and that's about it about me.
Okay.
My
Come on,
bad.
South
I said
Kakalaki.
Andrea again. That's on me. I'm so sorry. I am used to saying Andrea. I don't know if it's an
Yeah,
Alabama thing.
Go dogs.
I don't like the Alabama football team. I am an Auburn
Good.
fan if I had to choose. I just want to say that. Risha, tell us a little bit about you too.
My name is Risha. I'm originally from New York, and I've been in Georgia half my life. I have fully converted to be a Southern Belle. I
That's
have
good.
3 children. And again, so Dawu and I have been together for close to 8 months now.
Okay.
No, okay. You get the first question out the gate. Not that I don't want it.
I wasn't even ready for that. So the first question, just to give everyone like a full understanding, could anyone explain exactly what polygamy means?
Loaded question.
So polygamy is multiple spouses.
Mhm.
And you have to be careful when you're talking to people about, see, a lot of people just like to say poly life, but poly life is an umbrella of just about anything.
Okay.
Poly being the word for multiple can take on different meanings depending on what you put with it. So polygamy would be multiple spouses. And in this case, he's trying to practice polygyny, which is one
Oh,
husband.
so there's a whole bunch of different things.
Yes. So there's polyamory, which is the umbrella. Polyamory means multiple loves.
Okay.
And then you got polygamy, which is multiple spouses.
Mhm.
Polygyny, multiple wives.
Mhm.
Polyandry is multiple husbands.
Thank you, sister. Because listen,
That was like
there's so much going on with the knowledge when it comes to like sexuality and just how we love on each other these days. So it's hard for me to keep up with all of the terms. Like, the way you just
listen,
broke
my
it
mind
down,
is blown.
thank you. Yeah.
My mind is blown. I am
And
so glad.
Guess which one is the oldest? Guess which umbrella the oldest under that umbrella? Actually, multiple husbands are actually older than multiple.
I was about to say polyandry is the oldest.
Yeah, it's older than having multiple wives.
Yeah, that makes
Wow.
sense.
I don't know why, but
I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but I guess it makes sense in a whole, you know.
I don't know. Like I mean, maybe for someone who like when you research this stuff and it says this stuff, but I'm also like religious. So, you know, I can see back in the Bible that, you know, Abraham had multiple wives, Isaac had multiple wives, Jacob had 4. You know what I mean? Like Job had wives, lost everything, and got double for his trouble. So I ain't seen in the Bible where they talked about one woman having multiple husbands.
Yeah, but could that be because we are dipping into the religious sector for a second here? Could that be possibly because, you know, it was written by a bunch of men?
That is very true.
I mean, we get that argument all the time of religion was based on, you know, the recollection and the society of men since they ran everything. Maybe it was something they were trying to hide or not highlight at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite possible. I don't know.
Very possible.
Highly probable.
Speaking of, since we're
good with a good question.
It was a good question. You clap it up for you today. Since we are talking about religion, let's go ahead and just get this off the table. How does that the lifestyle that you have, how does that recollect with your religious beliefs? Like correlate with your religious beliefs?
When it comes to me, I would say it affects me a little bit, but not totally. I consider myself more spiritual than religious. I believe in God strongly. I believe in the church strongly too, but I just think spirituality, when it comes to me, trumps my religious beliefs. Cause I found something in all religion that I respect. So I can't, you know, even though I was raised Christian or raised Methodist, I still respect other religions and other cultural, you know, saying because like, you know, some of my friends are Muslim and they believe in poly lifestyle as well, and they have some traits that I also carry in myself. So
okay, because personally, you know, we go through growing up the whole man-woman marriage thing. So that's big for me, you know. Now, did I judge anybody? I don't really care what you do about your life, it's yours. But for me personally, this is where I learned how relationships go. And I know quite a lot of people in, let's just say, America hold basically how I feel or, you know, my views of marriage. Yeah. You know, one man, one woman, can't nobody else be involved, you know, that type of thing. So when you come up with a person that's antagonistic to that and you're explaining how you guys are living life, how do you combat that? Or do you just like, I don't care, whatever? Do you?
If you ask me, it's tough sometimes because I do have a lot of my friends are older into church, and one of my friends actually work with sometimes. He comes off a little judgmental when I mention I'm at Risha house. Sometimes he kind of like, oh, don't be doing this, like don't be doing that. You doing your wife wrong, I'm like, but at the same time, we have an understanding. I kind of like whatever, as long as my queens are happy, I'm happy. So it really don't matter what outside people say. But as a friend to me, I feel like I stepped away from some friends because of it.
So that's deep right there when you
That
feel
is
like
deep.
you kind of have to walk away to live the life you want to live. But it also can be freeing mentally in that aspect. Anybody else want to chime in on this? It's fine.
So I'm Baptist by choice. I grew up as an Israelite in New York. I was raised by a rabbi, like a rabbi.
Girl. She was deep in religion. She was deep.
Right. So when you talk about spirituality, like we're talking about like my grandfather, who I was raised by, and then on the other side of my family, my grandmother, who grew up and she did Israel, she did Islam. She, in the later part of her life, I saw her go to church. I think we practiced from the time I was born to the time she died. We practiced just about every religion. So we got to learn that a lot of those books say the same thing, just from somebody else's perspective. If you even look at the New Testament, the first 4 chapters is the same events in 4 different people's perspective. So I'm very versed. I'm very spiritual. I go to church weekly. But I'm can I curse? I don't know. Can I curse? Unlike
you can curse, just like, don't go too far.
Somebody to come to me and start an argument and like, God said it's one man for one woman. Well, what Bible were you reading that said that? Because like I said, again, Abraham had multiple wives. Isaac had multiple wives. Jacob had 4 and got tricked into one of them before he got with the one he wanted. So,
my favorite thing.
You want to get into that biblical conversation. Remember who you talking to. You talking to a preacher's kid. Come on
now. My favorite thing now is seeing our generation interpret the Bible in our own language. Because when you really start breaking it down in our own terms and how we view it, it kind of like, it doesn't really change what it says. It just changes your perspective in it a lot.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of drama going on in the Bible and a lot of people didn't know. But that's another conversation for another day. Mrs. Smith, do you mind elaborating on this, or should we move on to another question?
We can move on. They pretty much summed up. We got it.
So I'm gonna get the one question. Is it too early? You want to go ahead? No, you do.
I was gonna go ahead and go next. You did 2 back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Technically I did, didn't I? My bad.
I'm just saying.
That's on me. My bad. I'm rusty. It's been a while. It's been like 2 months almost.
It's been like, it's been too long since we've been off the show. Honestly, it's been way too long. I want to know how has like interacting with your family. I know we touched a little bit on Dawu and how you had to move away from your friends a little bit, but how has it been dealing with your family because of the choice of the relationship you decide to be in? I want to hear this from everyone too.
Okay. Most of my close family kind of embrace. I don't really have a problem with my family, I guess, especially from the guys because of a man. So it's kind of felt connection to me, but I've been practicing this lifestyle for a while, but I was doing it the wrong way. So the more I learned about it, and educated myself, I was able to express that to my family. And once I was able to tell them how about me doing it the right way, there was more understanding. I still have some close family members that quite don't understand and still not on the same page with me, but overall, I get the respect I think I deserve.
Okay. I love that. Because, sometimes it's hard when your family doesn't they just end up turning their back on you just because your choices. Like, I've said this a million times on the show, I don't care what you choose to do in life as long as you're not touching the kids and not trying to murder anybody. Like, whatever you do is your business. So.
Be honest with you, the most flack I got was from my female cousins, mostly ones that were married. They gave me the most trouble, but my mom, my mom been a gay lesbian, like who also believed in the poly community herself. She was supportive. My sister is actually poly as well, so she's been longer than I have. So of course those two being supportive, but other than that, it's kind of with the women it's kind of rough. But the men like, yeah, go for it.
Is it like this like the male club conversations what you have if you tell your uncle you got to find a girlfriend or something and they be like, what
I didn't expect I didn't know what I was about to expect. All I know is you said it's a male club, and I was like, oh
well,
shit.
you know how we
Here come that testosterone just
I'm just
you know,
I was
male
just
club.
asking because the
You know,
people
your voice got a little
wanna...
bit deeper even on that part, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't have too many uncles left. Both of my uncles are dead and gone. But the one that I do have, he kind of chill. So he's like, as long as everybody happy, he don't really care.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
how I feel.
yeah,
That's
but
exactly how I feel.
most of the men that I share this information with is like my godfather and my cousins. Me and my cousins, it's a lot of us, but all of us are close. So
Okay. Risha, Andrea, whoever wants to go first.
For me, it's a process still ongoing. My main focus was our children.
Okay.
That's where my focus was mostly. Everybody else, I'll deal with them or we'll deal with them as they come, but they are what are most important to me, honestly, because those are our babies.
Oh,
so
that's right.
What we do, they see what we do, and they emulate that or they learn from that. So I want to make sure whatever they see, they know what they're seeing, and we explain to them, which we've done now, what's going on. And they were very okay. Like, this generation, they really don't care.
They don't.
We really didn't expect them to be as receptive, honestly, as they were. And our kids are 12 and 14. We were expecting it to be like this really big, drawn out.
So they still in like what's the generation? Is that Alpha generation too?
I don't know what generation they are.
Right.
They're not Z though.
I don't know where we are.
No.
We don't even know.
Right.
Don't ask me. I want to say is either Z or Alpha. You
I
right in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I think they're Gen Z.
Okay.
Yeah. We really expected it to be like this long, drawn out conversation, and we were going to get a bunch of questions and have to explain a lot of stuff. And they're just like,
okay. So
you happy? Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Like
yeah.
And
my daughter's
I didn't expect it.
right.
My daughter's 13, and she's when we have these different conversations about different type of people in the world, she's at the point of educating me on things. Or she'll come throw something out and say, "Oh, my friends are this, and I got another friend that's this." I'm like, y'all just be out here exploring like the entire spectrum of sexuality.
Yeah.
In middle school, like it throws me off sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And the old man in me be like, you don't need to be talking about that stuff. But then
But it makes sense though, hormonally and as a human, it makes sense because when we were in middle school, we was trying to figure that shit out too. Do I want to be with this boy? Do I want to kiss this girl? It makes sense.
I think
it's just that now they're evolved now, so it's different. Maybe it's been like this the entire time.
I think it's because we live in the age of the internet. Kids have access to so much now, like nothing surprises them anymore. Like they're like, oh, okay, we know what that is already.
Right.
And we have the kids' TV shows are very much more open in explaining these types of things as well. Like Steven Universe was like 2014, 2015. A lot of kids watched that show and they learned about, same-sex relationships, and it's just another part of life for them.
Risha, would you like to answer the question about how your family has treated you with your lifestyle choices?
Yeah. So my kids also know. My son, my oldest, is 18, and he actually surprised me because when I came to talk to him about it, he was like, "So I already knew. I told my girlfriend you was in a 3-person relationship." I was like, "A what?" How long have you known this?
Like, so this is your first one?
Yeah, my oldest.
No. The relationship. This is your first.
This is my first. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure be clear so everybody else know. I mean, and I know.
Technically, this is my first one. Technically. Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, child. I thought I had a shot right here. Oh, child. Ooh, this is a bomb.
All right. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Let's continue.
I also have a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old. So the 3-year-old, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He loves everybody. The 13-year-old, the fact that you just said like the age of the internet and the fact that these kids know so much about sexuality now, it made the conversation so much easier, because the same conversation that they had in school, like, okay, you know, some families got 2 moms, some families got 2 dads. I was like, this family got 1 dad and 2 moms. Like, she was like, oh, okay. It just made the conversation easier.
I love that. So I gotta know, because I know BK gonna ask another question. So does that mean like Christmas this year gonna be extra lit? Like, since y'all got all the kids together and stuff?
That conversation,
is that what that means?
That conversation got to be had. But as right now, we do our deal is every major holiday we spend together, all 3 of us.
Nice. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
We gotta figure the Christmas.
We haven't got the Christmas.
Right, we ain't got that far.
Listen, y'all. It'll be here before you know it. It was just January 1st.
Yeah, I think our first holiday together was Valentine's Day. So
technically, like New Year's Eve,
Super Bowl.
Nice.
No, it was Georgia versus Ohio.
It was a football game.
Go Dogs.
The Bulldogs. There go them Bulldogs. There go them Bulldogs. Look at BK.
Listen. For the Alabama listeners, this is not a Georgia propaganda episode, okay? Do not take my Alabama card, okay?
I'm serious about my dog.
She's serious about them dogs. She been talking about them dogs all day already.
I got a homie that's in my hometown. Well, the city I'm living in now, they are super Bulldogs fans, yes. Georgia Dogs fans. So you probably making them really happy right now.
Yes.
So let's go back, because you said it was easy for the kids, but what are the most awkward moments you guys have had together, like making this grow?
It's not awkward anymore. It was awkward in the beginning
because
we were still all getting to know each other and filling each other out and learning all the different personalities. While we've been together for forever, it's a new relationship with Risha between the 2 of them, also between me and her, and then also between the 3 of us. So we were all filling each other out. So that was really, to me, the only awkward times in the beginning.
Yeah, the reason why it was awkward for me, because I'm a very affectionate person. I like to show public affection. So for me to show for me to show affection on one, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna hug and kiss on her, but I don't know how Andrea gonna respond. And like, it was like I had to, be careful. So a lot of times I'd be sitting there awkward, like not touching anybody the whole night.
Yo,
I'm here, you guys.
That's exactly how it be. I'm like, listen, if y'all want to hug me, cool, but I ain't initiating nothing.
Yeah, that's how it was at first. But now I'm like, I'm free from that. But it took me a good month or 2 to get free from that, to be honest with you.
Nice. I like that.
How was meeting each other? Like, how did that come about? Was it like an online thing, or was it you guys was walking through Atlanta one day and?
Well, it was an online thing for us, and once me and her, it was like a friendship at first. But the more questions she started to ask about me, I was like, this girl showing interest in me. I think I think there was something there, more than there. And then we start hanging out and get to know each other. I was like, okay, I can see myself being with her. That's how it came from me. She might have a different perspective, but that was my.
That's how it was for me.
Yeah, but she told me before we got to the next level, she had to meet my wife and make sure my wife was comfortable with the situation first before we moved forward. She wanted to make it seem like I was having an affair, She wanted to make sure we was all on the same page.
Like he was lying about it or something. Like,
Yeah.
I just had to make sure because I'm not about to walk into nobody's drama. Like you telling me you poly and your wife know, and then I'll be like, hey, so she'd be like, who the hell are you? Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Now we got an issue.
Exactly. I ain't trying to be all up in your business. But so
I mean, technically we kind of are.
Right, technically.
I mean, we already did get all up in there, right? So is it like an all together thing when it's sexy time?
So I'm the terms person. So under polygamy, there are different types of polygamy. So, and I'm about to throw some letters at you. So we're in a FMF. That's female, male, female.
Okay.
He also is in a V. So what that means is he's poly and he has 2 straight females.
Okay.
And a V.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
It's a one penis policy.
Okay.
It sounded like a clean version. That definitely was a clean version.
In other words, we are intimate with him separately, but not the two of us.
We're not intimate with each other.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If I was living it, I wouldn't be trying to get up. God, we just went somewhere else, but I'm just saying, like.
But I mean, there are dynamics like that. So those are like they're called MFF. So usually the female is the hinge, the middle person in that relationship, and that's when everybody is romantically and sexually involved with each other.
Okay.
Like we can be in the same room with each other and be around each other. We practice they call it kitchen table poly. We can come together, we can do things, but we're not interested in each other. We're not bisexual females.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I saw the whole group of lettering. And I was like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I be trying to keep up. Listen, I be trying to keep up. It's 2023. Shit. I gotta stay hip.
Yeah, remember whatever letter in the middle is the hinge. That's who tying the other two together. So that's why we're in the FMF, because I'm the hinge. I'm the person that is bringing the two women to one relationship.
Okay.
Speaking of, because in the previous question, we asked how you guys met up, but we didn't ask Mrs. Smith how she felt about it in the beginning. What was your feelings and emotions about it?
They were kind of all over the place. Like we said, this is only a 30-minut show.
I mean, technically it's an hour. We can bump it.
We could bump out the other piece. We can bump it out.
Yeah, we ain't even got to do that. We can bring that back episode 2. We good.
There was a lot that kind of culminated to get to this point. So there were other feelings from past experiences that kind of rolled over into the start of this one. So that's why he says this is pretty much everybody's first poly relationship, because this is literally the first time we're all doing it the right way, so to speak, or attempting to do it the right way. Where
I want to cuss.
I mean,
oh my God, because I ain't even gonna hold you. When we first had these conversations back, I thought it was a whole like community, like everybody on one accord. So for me to find out that this is the first official, I'm gonna cuss.
No, because in the beginning, with my previous partner, I dated her separately, and her and Andrea had no relationship whatsoever.
Right.
I did make attempts to bridge that gap, but it never worked out. So,
I feel like that's important though for it to work out.
Yeah, but like I said, I was still learning about the lifestyle myself. So I didn't know the proper way to do it, and also to me, I felt both of them was comfortable not knowing each other. So I didn't really push the envelope to, So when I met Risha and she was like, I want to pick kitchen table poly. I prefer to have a sisterhood, a sister wife. I was like, if that can work, I'm down for it because I want to see my wife happy. I liked her to have somebody that can support her emotionally and other than myself. Cause I know sometimes I drive her crazy. So this is my best friend. I'm
That's
her
what a
best
husband
friend.
is for.
That's
exactly what a husband is for. Oh, I'm sorry, BK.
If I'm driving her crazy and she come to me talking to me about it, it's like it's pointless. She needs somebody to talk to, you know.
Right. That makes sense.
I'm finding all this very interesting, by the way. Like, I'm so glad you all came on because this is opening my mind to because I had a very close, not like I hated it or anything. It's just my perspective and understanding of it was just so closed. Like, I think I just had like an overview, and it for me it just felt like dude became greedy. Like he think he gotta have two. Like you need two, sir. Like dang, it's other people. Like you ain't gotta have two.
I mean, technically we outnumber the men, so there's that. So
I've heard the argument before.
It's true.
It's true. It's very true, and
it's a fact.
I feel like
no, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I've heard the talking point come up a few times.
Oh, okay. Go
Most
ahead, Risha.
of the time, people who don't approve of it or are closed-minded of it, they've only seen some of the bad examples and negative stereotypes. They think a lot of people, you start talking about poly, they think that's a threesome. That's not what poly life is. And they think it's all about sex. Like you just need multiple, like what you're not getting in your first relationship, that you need another relationship. Like people just give it this negative stereotype and they really don't even understand what the lifestyle is really about. So yeah, we get a lot of that. Until we actually have these conversations. Like I said, I'm the person that be ready for the argument. So when somebody come to me and be like, God said, I'm like, I'm ready. Like, what you say?
I've been learning a lot by watching some of the conversations Dawu has been having. And I might not say anything, but I just because I like to learn stuff. And I find, like I said, I found all this very fascinating how it works. I'm always paying. I am what I call a twatcher. I just be watching. I don't
like that name. I do not like that name. You gotta give that up. I don't like that.
A twatcher.
We're moving.
Don't say it again.
It's a person that it's usually a person that be on Twitter, but just be watching.
Yeah, they got
be
tweets.
Twitter
They
watching.
just watching.
Yeah, and I mean, I tweet, but on Facebook and a lot of the groups and stuff, I just watch a lot of it because.
So just call yourself.
We have a podcast, and it gives me a different perspective on everybody. So learning and hearing everybody's opinions on things helps me form a better opinion about things.
So I know you were talking about, how it was awkward, trying to find a way to like show affection this way and to your wife and to Risha. So, how do you find enough time to spend with each other? Like, do you have like a nice balance between spending it with Andrea or Risha? Do y'all all spend time together a lot? Like, how do you guys spend time together? And find that time because, I know y'all working and stuff, and then you got the kids on top of that. So how do you find enough time for each other?
I have a schedule with both of them. I spend certain days with Risha. I spend certain days with Andrea, but also Friday is like my day to myself.
Oh, come on.
But lately I've been spending that day with both of them.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And
you could do every other Friday. You could do every other Friday.
Yeah, we gotta be flexible as men,
You gotta be flexible, right?
But to be honest with you, that the schedule thing was more in the beginning because we still were trying to figure out how we were gonna do things. But since they are becoming more friends and having more of a stronger bond, it seemed like the schedule thing's kind of out the window. But I still try to respect it because I know my wife's love language is quality time. So I gotta make sure I spend time with her. And Risha like quality time as well, but I just know that I can't just erase the schedule because then it will affect her emotionally.
Go ahead.
So all right. So they're nesting partners and I live separately. So the schedule really came with like whose house is he sleeping at tonight? So we don't want it. I never wanted it to be I didn't want her to feel like I'm trying to capitalize on all his time just because, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like, let's do this so we can make sure that there's no confusion. Like, I'm not trying to monopolize. I'm not trying to take over. That was my main goal when I first came, is that my goal was to show her that I wasn't here to take her place. And I think that's the biggest issue in a lot of these relationships, is that these women come into them talking about, yeah, I want to be poly. And then next thing you know, they trying to take over. Like, they trying to push the other person out more than they are trying to work with the other person. And I feel like it is my job to really show her that I'm not here to take your place.
So you're saying
it's like
you should be
another person to
enhancing.
your team. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm here to enhance the team, and I'm here to like help out. Like, when, like, and I said this to him and to her, like, I feel like our relationship is like that village. It takes that village to raise that child. And between me meeting their kids and them meeting mine, I feel like we literally formed a village. Like, I still get emotional telling this story, but there was a time where we had tornado warnings coming through town, and at the time she was working on like top side of town, he's on the other side of town. Everybody, schools closed early. I went and got my kids. I'm sitting at the house chilling, and I'm like, where's your babies? And they was like, oh, they took the babies off the bus, they put them back into school. And I was so upset because I wasn't on the list to go pick the babies up. And that really hurt me deeply, because I was like, I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, to me, it really became a village, like, more than it's not, like I said, poly is more than just what people think. It's more than just like sex and threesomes and whatever people think it is. A man trying to be greedy, have more than one woman, is way more.
Yeah. I've always looked at the poly life as more of, like you said, more of community, raising the kids, having finances together, way deeper than just the sexual aspect, for sure. Because I always thought about the fucking finances for me, baby. What if we all making 3 figures? What are you talking about? We all got 3 businesses. What you talking about? Like, give me the money. Give me the money now.
And that's really the goal. Like, I feel like Andrea is an extension of me. So I'm not gonna sit there and feel like I'm gonna help his business and not help hers.
Yeah.
Because when she's coming up, we all coming up. That's more vacations. That's more time together. That's more stuff together. So you gotta help each other.
So from what you just said, because you mentioned not being on the list to pick up the kids, so even those small things that maybe a platonic family would go through, having lists on the kids, being an emergency contact, those type of things, that also affects you emotionally, being not nesting with them. So that is a lot to manage. How like, what happens when, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to not put you on there, it's something I didn't think of, like.
Yeah, but
in all honesty, that was like still in the early
That
part
was in
of
the
the
early
relationship.
part.
Okay.
That the relationship was still developing in that point. So of course, no, we hadn't updated any lists or school or anything. But in that moment, that was even
like,
before
I hadn't even met. I hadn't met your kids.
The kids hadn't even met at that time. She hadn't met our kids. The kids didn't know about the lifestyle. So this is like the early stages.
Okay.
But in that moment, because we were still developing the relationship and the friendship and everything like that, she felt hurt, not hurt because she wasn't on the list, hurt because she couldn't go get those babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
To have them safely in her custody with her, as opposed to being at the stuck in the school.
Right. I felt
it's so much to really think about when it comes down to what builds a relationship, especially in these terms, because it's so much to manage. And I think that's important for people to hear, because like you said, they only see the topical, they don't see the intricate part, the building, the actual building. And a lot of times you see influencers and you see them dressed up going to parties, or, which I'm not saying there's any of our business on that side, but perception is everything. And how we perceive things, whether or not we want to admit it, that's how we learn about things. So if I'm watching a movie and all black people are seen in a negative light, and I'm not black and I don't know any black people, I'm gonna learn the negative aspects of that. So
That's
I think
true.
it's really cool that you brought that up, because even I didn't think about that in any scenario. And I don't usually manage things, so I would probably be the one to forget. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. We're being
That's
real
real.
here.
That's real. That's real, my brother. That's real.
Um, do you guys think you have any other questions? Because I feel like this is like the last question.
This is just one of them one-off questions, but it's so random. 3 is the number, no more than 3. Is that it? Is that what we're going
People.
with?
Oh,
Before.
You was like, we locked down. It's already locked in. We don't need.
You see, I don't have to
Because I
answer that
understand how some couples they want to branch off to more and everything like that, but 3 y'all full. That's why I like.
that was already established in the beginning. 3 was his max. He never wanted more than 2 wives. Never
Okay.
wanted more than 2 women. That was it.
That's it. Okay.
I think he goes through enough with us.
Listen, I feel you, bro. I feel you, because sometimes
Leo and a Taurus. I'm with a bull and a lion, man.
A bull and a lion. Oh, you said Leo and Taurus.
A Taurus.
God bless.
Yeah.
how do you explain the lifestyle to a person that's interested? Like, what are like the key things you tell them?
Me personally, I tell people to read and educate themselves as much as possible. Don't try to jump in the lifestyle and make the same mistakes I made. I think education, because I'm still learning and learning more as I go. But I think education is the most important thing right now if you're trying to enter this lifestyle.
I agree. Like, it took me a while. Like, before we started dating, like, again, we were friends, and I would say things to him because I was like a Google nerd. I wanted to know what all these terms meant. Like, you see me throwing out words. Like, I wanted to know what all this stuff meant.
We appreciate it.
And I was just, so the answer to that awkward moment, our most awkward moment with him, when we were talking about poly and we were talking terms. So, and I was like, oh, so, you want a sister wife? And he was like, no, me and my wife don't want a sister wife. And I was like, confused. And I was like, what do you mean? You don't want a sister wife? Okay. So then I was like, have you ever looked the word up?
That would have been me. That would have been like, I ain't trying to have a sister. Like, I got enough
That's
of
what
them.
perception. We just talked about perception because all we knew about sister wives was the show you see on TV.
The show us.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's what we knew about
Yes.
sister wives.
That is not a
And
good
I'm like,
example,
no,
apparently.
That's not a good example. That's not a good example at all, my friend. Sorry.
Perception.
So then when you guys were able to, unpack that part,
Yeah,
that's
I
when
see the
everything.
possibilities. Yeah.
Mhm.
We just had to know what everything meant. That's all.
But yeah, the education is important. The education is important. Just like even if you decide to pick up a new hobby, if you want to learn how to play the guitar, you got to study it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
And be honest with you, I was nervous. My wife said she was cool with sit down for Risha to get to know her and all that. But I was like, she might say that, but when you sit at that table, they might start throwing blows. You know what I'm saying?
Again, that's exactly how I would feel. I'm like, you
Yeah,
said you cool, but I don't know. I
Like, it sounds like a trap.
It feel like a trap.
Yeah, that.
Like I said, because my previous partners, it was not happening. So
Yeah.
but she respect how Risha came, because Risha made it clear, like, I'm not being in no relationship until I sit down and talk to Andrea.
But
And
that's a part of that. I think we all would want somebody that's honest and upfront with you.
Yeah. So be honest with you, I probably wouldn't be in a situation if it wasn't for the effort of Risha.
Shout out to Risha.
Yeah.
Did that
No.
thing.
Hey, that's real. That's real though. You know what I'm saying? You know.
But I do
Everyone shows their love different and their support different, but like that honesty, baby, take you miles.
But at the same time, I got a lot more respect for my wife, even though I feel like I respect her because she was patient with me when most people wouldn't have been patient. So
I ain't even gonna lie. I said that one thing. I think one of our first conversations together, I was like, boom, why you still here? Like,
Because she loved him. She's loved him. Okay.
I want to beat him up for you right now. I don't know.
Now you see why I wanted to cuss.
She's strong. She's one of the strongest females that I know. Cause let me tell you,
Nope.
when I started hearing some of them past stories, I was like, boo. Y'all be done had bail money set for me.
Okay.
That's why I told you in our conversation, because I polyboned my wife.
Polybond.
Okay, so I remember you saying that, and
Polybond.
I was like, I'm gonna find out what all that means when we have this conversation.
It's like when you see something, you're like, okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, but then you start learning other shit, and you're like, oh, okay.
Like, whew. I feel like you got to be another type of warrior to deal with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the way you three have this camaraderie and this respect for each other, I really dig that. I think it's really dope, and I am 100% glad you guys came on to tell your story a bit.
Thank you.
Even
so
though we
much.
definitely got to have.
We got to do part 2. We got to do part 2. Because baby, we here now. You done broke it down. Y'all already y'all was nervous at first, but everybody laid their head down. It's lit.
My last question was going to be, do you think the world has progressed enough to accept this type of thing for mass, as if like we accepting marriages? Do you think that ever happened? Or has it happened?
Now, no, because to me, the poly community is beefing within itself. A lot of us dynamics don't respect each other, especially a lot of the religious dynamics. You know, they don't respect the gay dynamics or the bisexual dynamics. So me being a heterosexual male, I try to speak up when a lot of those religious people bash the gay community, because how are we gonna ever progress if we continue to fight within the umbrella? That's how I feel. That's why I try to educate myself on the other dynamics as well as my own.
I feel like people not fully ready because the society they're so used to what they're doing. Like, you rather just cheat on your wife and have a side chick than everybody know and be okay and move forward. Like, because of the people who bash it the most be the ones that got 3 and 4 girlfriends.
Hello.
Oh, that's a word.
That was a conversation I had with some of my family. I was like, look, when my own mom was like, what makes you want to do that? I said, the only difference between what I do and what you do is I already know he got a wife. I don't need to find out 6-7 months later, year later, but like, oh, you got a wife? Why would you do this? No.
That's how people get cut.
That's how people get cut. Exactly.
All right. So on this show, every time we have a guest on, we got to talk about their favorite hip hop top 5. Now, this is not an original concept. Just so everybody knows, one of my favorite movies is Chris Rock's top 5. All right. I know Chris Rock. I know, but it's one of my favorite movies. Okay. And so I lifted the concept. In the movie, they ask everybody for their hip hop top 5 personal. And you guys are going to tell us if you choose so right after this.
I love how you not introduce, but I love how you always tell that story at least once a season.
I don't want people, because you get new people coming in and then they get in the comments, well, you didn't come up with that. And I'm like, I know, I stole it from Chris Rock's movie.
You didn't steal it, you borrowed it.
Bart, lift it. I give it back to him. I give it back to him.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody knows our top 5s. And just to take some of the pressure off, it changes from time to time.
Yeah.
If I go back and do my
change,
I think mine slightly changed.
Y'all had J. Cole in all this, didn't you?
Nope.
Yeah, J. Cole is in my list. It's in my list.
Yeah.
I know you didn't put J. Cole in my list.
J. Cole's not in your list. J. Cole's not in your list.
I like J. Cole though. He's just not in my top 5. Not on a personal note. So
Don't you bring that J. Cole just in case Big Bro Demo is listening. He gonna freaking J. Cole.
you know, listen, is this two people Demo hate? Is J. Cole and
Yeah, they
Eminem?
don't say stand J. Cole.
He cannot stand that man. Like, I think he stole from him or something back in the day. Because
For
something
real.
not right.
I don't know what he took, but it was valuable because my
It was
man
valuable.
got a
He took his
vendetta.
watch. It had to be a watch or his shoes. Because baby.
Maybe them cigars he be
Yeah.
smoking.
It
It was
wasn't
something
cigars.
good. It was something good. All right.
So
Let's start
yeah, go ahead.
with Dawu. Since I know you probably the most prepared here from my small chat earlier before we started.
My
So
list
let
comes
me
to
hear.
as well, but not really. Yeah, but top of my head right
The
now,
order.
yeah, the order might change. But top of my head right now,
You don't have to do it in order. Y'all don't have to do it in order.
well, Andre 3000, of course,
Okay.
from Atlanta. Busta Rhymes,
Okay.
Nas, Tupac, and my last spot is the hardest one for me every time. But my Spotify is gonna say Young Jeezy. I know y'all can expect that one.
I feel like this is the first time. This is the first time Jeezy and Busta has made anybody's top 5.
Yeah, this is
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, this is the first time Jeezy has made anyone's top 5. Yes, sir.
No, somebody called Busta. I think it was
No, Busta. Somebody else called Busta. I'm gonna say Mikachu did Busta Rhymes in her top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said Busta Rhymes in her
Andrea.
top 5. Or my sister, yeah. Oh, her name's Andrea, so that's probably why you keep on saying Andrea too. So.
Yeah, it's definitely she's it's your fault, Andrea.
Don't
I'm
do
just
that
playing.
to me.
I'm just playing. You like one of my favorite people ever. Stay off my Monopoly board though.
Did you agree with my list? Okay.
All right. Anybody else
Who
got
ready?
a list though?
Who ready?
It does not have to be hip hop. I'll let you slide.
Thank you, because I was like, if it has to be hip hop, it's gonna be tough for
Let's
me.
do hip hop. Let's do hip hop and R&B.
There we go, because I'm like, I listen to hip hop, but R&B is my heart. So
Okay.
it would be hard for me to put together a top 5 because I listen to them interchangeably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to it enough to say this is my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back and make a bumper for R&B. Might as well make one for gospel too, right?
Yep.
Too late now. So let's see. Let's hear your top 5. I'm ready.
For me, for R&B, and again, not in order, it's probably going to be Babyface.
Oh, nice.
Can there be groups, or does it have to be a single person?
No, it could be a group.
We'll let you have groups.
All right, so I'm gonna go Babyface. I'm gonna go Boys to Men.
Okay.
He wrote most of their music.
I was about to say that makes sense right there.
Yep. Let's go. Oh man, it's harder than I thought. Probably, again, according to my Spotify, it would be Lucky Day.
Okay.
Neo.
Oh, we cool then. We good. You one of my best. We got to go to a concert.
And it's hard to say this last one. Not really. It's hard to say it, but because he covers so many genres. But I'm gonna say MJ. But
okay,
his music spans everything.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
he out here.
Yeah.
That's my real father. Say not God for Let me stop saying that. I need to stop saying that out loud.
I'm gonna say that's some exclusive stuff right there.
I know, right? I need to stop saying that out loud before somebody try to sue me or something. Your daddy.
We got one more list. That's a solid list, by the way.
Very solid. Very solid.
So my hip hop list and my R&B list is 2 separate lists. So
you got a hip hop list?
Yeah, I got a hip hop list. So my hip hop list is kind of similar to his. It would be Tupac, Nas, Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J, Wu-Tang Clan. I'm from New York. Like,
what was the last one? What was the last one?
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang, yeah, it's definitely giving big time New York. Yeah, it's definitely giving big time.
Look, everybody, I don't know nobody that don't rock with
it. New York was going off in my head. As soon as you said LL, I said, that might be a new first too, BK.
I think it is.
I think that's a new first too.
So I got a
Anyway.
side question about this, and this is because I like to ask people about Jay-Z. You being from New York, how do you feel about Jay? I've never had the opinion from a person from New York on Jay-Z.
I mean, I think Jay-Z is a cool dude. I think he's very talented, but being from New York. When you from New York, right? When you from New York, is you don't get to choose both. You either got Nas or you got Jay-Z. Either that's all I can say. Like,
I think he's a cool person.
Like he's a cool dude. Like he married Beyonce.
He married Beyonce, so he gotta be.
I can respect.
Cool.
I can
That's
respect
very
that.
true.
I can
That's
respect
very
that. I mean, I choose Jay-Z, but I ain't from New York. And let's just be real. We ain't got a lot of people from Alabama that I could just hold on to like that. I mean, I got Yellow Wolf is probably like the most famous rapper from Alabama at this point.
He's not going to anybody's top 5.
Rich Boy, but he only had like a hit and a half.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about,
he's definitely not going to nobody's top 5.
Who, Rich Boy? No, he's not. He's not. I mean, we got Dirty. We got a few other artists. Don't get me wrong.
Which one is Rich Boy? Rich Boy selling the crack? That one?
Yeah.
Oh, some D's? That's Rich Boy.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to be in nobody's top 5. Sorry. He barely make it to top 20. He's not going to make it in my top 20. He definitely not going to be in my top 20.
He's going to make my top 100.
Dang. Thank y'all for coming and taking out the time.
Thank you guys.
Especially, again, being on vacation. That was big for us. So we definitely appreciate you guys. Y'all going to go up on the wall, our imaginary Hall of Fame wall of guests.
No, it's gonna be a new when we, in the future when we actually have a wall to put it on, we could put it on the
yeah. Y'all got to get up on there. Y'all
but right now it's imaginary.
The BK Hall of Fame.
And I don't want to make anybody else feel some type of way, but you guys are definitely top 3 favorite guests for me right now. So this was a really good show.
Have you told 3 people that? Let me calculate in my head
never
because now you just pushed somebody.
I never said it out loud.
Okay, you never said it out loud. Okay, so if she did say it out loud, we do not share it. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all are cool as hell.
Oh my God.
All right, we out. Thank you guys for coming through, man. Yeah. All right, Space Gang. Thank you guys for listening to this really good interview we just had.
It was actually much needed because, listen, it was so much that I learned. It was very insightful. Shout out to Dawu, Andrea, and Risha for coming through because, baby, little me, I was a little bit ignorant when it came to the poly life, but having someone that is open to teach and give each one of us grace because everyone doesn't know, everything that's going on. So just having someone that gives you grace because you don't have that knowledge and is willing to teach you. Shout out to them.
For real,
solid show.
For real. What I enjoyed about the episode was just watching the Black love being displayed. Yes. I know it's not the usual type of Black love that we're all used to or that's universally accepted, but man, just seeing how they interacted with each other and learning some of the things and the pitfalls and some of the good moments there. And even if you don't agree, I think that was still a level of something to learn about respectability. Well, not respectability, but respect and love and how that's shared between individuals. So it was a good show. I enjoyed it. Before we pop off of here, I got to give my brother, Brandon, and my sister, Chandrika, a shout out because it's their birthday, July 12th. Definitely big ups to them, because a lot of times when things was dark and I ain't have nobody to talk to, one of the two was always there. So I got to give them love when, got to give credit where it's due. I don't have a lot of shoulders, so, they were big for me.
Happy birthday, you guys.
Yeah, definitely enjoy the holiday, your birthday holiday. Anyway, thank you guys. Thanks to guests for coming on. It was big. Y'all was on vacation. Thank you for being great and being here. That's our show for today. So
season 8 premiere. We out here.
That's right. So do me a favor and go to all those social medias, like, share, all of that stuff. We're everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Threads now. YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Anyway, Novacaine, let them know what else they got to do first.
Head on over to Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating and a written review. Also follow us on Apple Podcasts, of course, and head on over to Spotify and leave us a 5-star rating.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for listening. We about this thing. Y'all keep it real.